Tonight's top 10 all took the stage hoping to connect with American voters while still looking presidential. Joining me now, two former White House insiders who know a thing or two about that. Marc Thiessen is the former chief presidential speechwriter for President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. And Bill Burton is the former White House deputy press secretary for President Obama. This is a nice pairing. I don't know if we've done this particular pairing before.
I don't think we have.
I like this. Okay, so so far, we'll see.
Let's not prejudge.
Overall impressions first, Mark, let me ask you.
I thought it was a great debate, first of all. I thought it was substantive and it was impassioned. And I think, the people who you expected to do well, Bush and Walker and sort of the leading alternatives to Trump, held their own and did okay. I think Trump had a really, really tough night. I think that his getting booed coming out of the box for not saying that he would eschew a third-party run was pretty bad. And I answer to you, Megan, was just appalling.
Let's just show the viewers that moment, because we've talked about it a couple times. We haven't played it yet. Here it is, the moment that we're talking about.
Frankly, what I say, and oftentimes it's fun, it's kidding, we have a good time. What I say is what I say. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that. But you know what?
That's what Trump does.
Yeah,
Trump's going to be Trump.
That was a Trump moment, but I think that was offensive. Women watching that were probably offended by that because first of all, you didn't play the clip about the quotes you showed from him of the things he said about women, and he was sort of doing okay when he said, "Well, I'm not politically correct," but then when he went after you, I thought I think Donald Trump's strategy seems to be to win the Republican nomination and the presidency without women.
That's tough to do. Bill, your thoughts?
Well, I think that on that point with women, Republicans have a massive problem with women, and I think that Trump was a part of that. But if you look at what Marco Rubio did and what Scott Walker did with choice, I think that they've created a massive problem for themselves in the general election should they get that far, because what they've done is they've shown that they are as far to the right on the issue of choice as you could possibly be.
Scott Walker, I asked him specifically about, you don't favor, life acceptance ever? Like, you would let a woman die rather than, and he didn't answer that specifically, but he kind of let that stand. Like, right. I'm pro-life.
And then Rubio corrected you to say, oh, right. No, don't worry. I am actually as far to the right on this issue as you could possibly imagine.
Right, and I realize that there are plenty of, pro-life people who have sincerely held beliefs who say, great, I'm with him. But as I said in the stat, 83% of the American population, and that includes Republicans, want there to be an exception for the life of a mother. I mean, I almost asked the question, you would really tell husbands across America they have to watch their wives die than abort a problematic pregnancy.
Right. I really do think that exchange between you and Scott Walker is something that could really live all the way to Election Day of the general election, should Scott Walker make it all the way through.
Was there anybody who, put the fear of God in you?
I wouldn't say the fear of God. I think people come to these debates and they want to see who looks like a president on stage, and the problem for the Republicans is the one who looked most like a president was Jeb Bush. The problem is he looked like President George W. Bush. So we'll see how that goes.
Good line. I like that one. What did you think?
I think so you had that first tier. Trump didn't blow himself up, but he hurt himself a little bit. Bush and Walker, I think, did very well. So who in that last tier, those people in the 3, 4, 5% stood out and made it a name for themselves?
Maybe moved up a little.
I think Christie really did a really good job. I think his exchange with Rand Paul and his exchange with Huckabee, he showed himself to be a fighter without being too New Jersey about it. So I think he did a really good job on that.
When Rand Paul said the thing about I didn't hug anybody, right?
Didn't see that
Wasn't it Rand Paul? That was a good line about you were hugging him and I didn't.
But Christie had a good comeback.
Yeah.
He did. Anyway, keep going.
So he had a good comeback saying, I hug the families after 9/11.
So do you think any of those guys that you think Chris Christie may have moved out of sort of the lower tier and into the medium tier, do you think anybody here tonight that's on the stage of 10 will not be on the stage of 10 the next time around?
Well, the interesting thing is that everyone was saying, it's possible at the 5 o'clock debate that somebody could emerge out of that. And I think Carly Fiorina really did. I think she had a great debate. She let Twitter on fire, then she went off and gave it to Chris Matthews right afterwards. She had a really, really good day. I would not be surprised to see her on the big stage in the next debate.
She was calm, cool, and collected in the earlier debate.
Absolutely.
Guys, a pleasure.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks for being here.